There was a hunter who was an evil man. He did not wish well on anyone, and he lived a fairly miserable life. He went hunting one day, and in going into the forest, he passed by a village which was celebrating Shivaratri. And he looked at all the people and all the flowers, and they had decorated the shivling, and there was great festivities going on. And in a true form of a grouch, he said, "Bah humbug! What a bunch of BS! I'm going to go off to the forest and kill myself a deer." So, indeed, he scoffed at the devotion of the faithful and went off into the forest to stalk his prey. But instead of stalking his prey, he became stalked by a tiger. To escape the tiger, he found a tree and he climbed up to the top of a tree, holding on to its topmost branches, shivering in fear. What he didn't notice was that the tree, being especially an old tree, and it was an odambara tree, which is a tree that is worshipped in many parts of India, especially by devotees of Dattatreya. At the base of this tree, many years before, somebody had installed a little shivling and a little temple, sort of a micro temple right at the base of the tree. And weeds and grass and plants had grown up, so he had no reason to have noticed it. But he went up the tree, and because he was frightened and because the tiger was somewhere off in the distance, he did not allow himself to sleep. At one point, he had to spit. So he spit down, and his spittle went on this ancient linga. While holding on to the tree, oh, excuse me, this was not an odambara tree. I take that back. This was a bilva tree that has the bel fruit, which is auspicious to Shiva, and the bel leaves are the most important leaves to offer to the shivling. So some of these bilva leaves fell off the tree on top of the ling. The end of the story is that when finally the dawn came and the sun rose, the tiger was gone, the hunter was able to get down from the tree, and without even knowing it, without even being conscious that he was doing the full Shiva puja on Maha Shivaratri night, he had done it and he became liberated. It's the irony of the story of such an undeserving man, even performing the proper ritual on the night of Maha Shivaratri, even he would get liberation from this. So I suggest that at least spend part of the night up if you can. At least maybe spend a half an hour at the very minimum meditating after midnight, and I believe that that you'll get very good results from this. So, the next curious area. By the way, any of you interrupt me at any time. You know I always encourage you to have conversation on these matters.
Babaji? So this is after midnight tonight?
No, tomorrow night. Thursday.
All right.
Thursday to Friday, is it?
Thursday to Friday, yes.
Okay, cool.
And
Yeah, of course. Thanks for
Shivaratri,
clarifying.
of course, can fall on any day of the week, but when Shivaratri falls on a Thursday, which in India is called Guruvar, the day that it's the day of Jupiter, but Jupiter, Brihaspati in India, is worshipped as Guru. Thursday is the day that we worship Guru and worship Guru Dattatreya, and so when Maha Shivaratri falls on a Thursday night, it's especially auspicious for receiving knowledge. So again, I encourage just even a token observance or a token meditation just after midnight. 8 minutes past midnight is in India. Tomorrow night is when the auspicious period begins. All of this is very precise. Some interesting things happen on the night of Shivaratri. This is the night that Shiva performs his Tandav dance, his dance of activity. And through the course of this dance, the three worlds are created, maintained, and destroyed, and then reborn again. Panini. You all remember Panini, I hope. Yes? Okay. Panini, just to repeat, was the great master of sacred speech of our times, who lived about 2,500, 2,600 years ago, or maybe even much longer. But generally it's believed that he lived in around the 5th century BC. His text, the Ashtadhyayi, as we've discussed, has not only been described as one of the greatest ever human endeavors in articulation and composition and literature, but certainly is the basis for modern linguistic studies, a lot of modern philosophy, and certainly the IT revolution. It was on Shivaratri night that it all came together for Panini. Panini invoked Shiva, did all the proper rituals, and Shiva appeared before him, performed the Tandav dance, and then granted Panini's greatest request, which was he needed the darshan of speech, the revelation of speech, so that he could manifest his sutras, his 4,000 sutras that would constitute the Ashtadhyayi, but somehow he needed a revelation that would organize it and make it happen. So Shiva, after performing his Tandav dance, he played the damaru. You all know what a damaru is? A damaru is a two-headed drum. Jennifer, you were at the Kumbh. You saw a damaru on the trident in the Dhuni. Okay? We always would keep a damaru there. A damaru is a two-headed drum that is played like this with, I have a Chinese damaru here. With you see these, but this is the damaru of Shiva is a handheld damaru, two-headed drum, and it's played like this. Now the curious thing about this damaru is that, oh, you have a damaru, thank you. Okay, we're going to work with this damaru because you see, at every beat on the head of this drum emerged a syllable until 14 sutras became articulated from Shiva's damaru. And I'm going to tell you what those syllables are, because it's those syllables which launch the Ashtadhyayi, that launch Panini's endeavor on this planet to manifest this meta language and this discipline of the sacred Vedic yajna, sacrifice. It's all starting from what is called the Shiva Sutra. It's also called the Shiva Sutras. These are the 14 sutras that come off of Shiva's damaru, that once revealed to Panini, then the Ashtadhyayi and this entire tradition of speech, which goes through Patanjali and Bhartrihari and Abhinavagupta all the way up to Heidegger and Derrida and the rest of them. So here are, should I give you the syllables right now? No, I'm not going to give you the syllables right now. I'm going to wait just a couple minutes because you still can't possibly understand that these are not, that my focus on this for you is not that these are sounds. Yes, they're sounds. Yes, you'll hear them as sounds. Yes, the damaru makes sounds. But what is most important about this, and the way that this creates a meta-language, is that these are spaces. And I've described to you before how we find these spaces in our mouth.